Howard Zinn (August 24, 1922 to January 27, 2010) was an American historian, playwright, and social activist. He was chair of the History and Social Sciences Department at Spelman College, and a political science professor at Boston University. Zinn wrote over 20 books, including his best-selling and influential A People's History of the United States. In 2007, he published a version of it for younger readers, A Young People's History of the United States. Zinn described himself as, "something of an anarchist, something of a socialist. Maybe a democratic socialist." He wrote extensively about the civil rights movement and anti-war movement, and labor history of the United States. His memoir, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, was also the title of a 2004 documentary about Zinn's life and work. Zinn died of a heart attack in 2010, age 87. Life and career. Early life. Zinn was born to a Jewish immigrant family in Brooklyn on August 24, 1922. His father, Eddie Zinn, born in Austria-Hungary, immigrated to the U.S. with his brother Samuel before the outbreak of World War I. His mother, Jenny Rabinowitz Zinn, emigrated from the eastern Siberian city of Irkutsk. His parents first became acquainted as workers at the same factory. His father worked as a ditch digger and window cleaner during the Great Depression. His father and mother ran a neighborhood candy store for a brief time, barely getting by. For many years his father was in the waiters' union and worked as a waiter for weddings and bar mitzvahs. Both parents were factory workers with limited education when they met and married, and there were no books or magazines in the series of apartments where they raised their children. Zinn's parents introduced him to literature by sending 10 cents plus a coupon to the New York Post for each of the 20 volumes of Charles Dickens' collected works. As a young man, Zinn made the acquaintance of several young communists from his Brooklyn neighborhood. They invited him to a political rally being held in Times Square. Despite it being a peaceful rally, mounted police charged the marchers. Zinn was hit and knocked unconscious. This would have a profound effect on his political and social outlook. He also studied creative writing at Thomas Jefferson High School in a special program established by principal and poet Elias Lieberman. After graduating from high school in 1940, Zinn became an apprentice shipfitter in the New York Navy Yard at the age of 18. Concerns about low wages and hazardous working conditions compelled Zinn and several other apprentices to form the Apprentice Association. At the time, apprentices were excluded from trade unions and thus had little bargaining power, to which the Apprentice Association was their answer. The head organizers of the association, which included Zinn himself, would meet once a week outside of work to discuss strategy and read books that at the time were considered radical. Zinn was the activities director for the group. His time in this group would tremendously influence his political views and created for him an appreciation for unions. World War II. Eager to fight fascism, Zinn joined the U.S. Army Air Force during World War II and was assigned as a bombardier in the 490th Bombardment Group, bombing targets in Berlin, Czechoslovakia, and Hungary. As bombardier, Zinn dropped napalm bombs in April 1945 on Royan, a seaside resort in southwestern France. The anti-war stance Zinn developed later was informed, in part, by his experiences. Actually, Royan was leveled by the RAF on January 5, 1945. 30 died during the April attack. On a postdoctoral research mission 9 years later, Zinn visited the resort near Bordeaux where he interviewed residents, reviewed municipal documents, and read wartime newspaper clippings at the local library. In 1966, Zinn returned to Royan, after which he gave his fullest account of that research in his book, The Politics of History. On the ground, Zinn learned that the aerial bombing attacks in which he participated had killed more than 1,000 French civilians as well as some German soldiers hiding near Royan to await the war's end, events that are described, in all accounts, he found as une tragique erreur, that leveled a small but ancient city and its population that was, at least officially, friend, not foe. In The Politics of History, Zinn described how the bombing was ordered 3 weeks before the war in Europe ended by military officials who were, in part, motivated more by the desire for their own career advancement than in legitimate military objectives. He quotes the official history of the U.S. Army Air Force's brief reference to the 8th Air Force attack on Royan and also, in the same chapter, to the bombing of Plzeň in what was then Czechoslovakia. The official history stated that the Škoda works in Pilsen received 500 well-placed tons, and that, because of a warning sent out ahead of time, the workers were able to escape, except for 5 persons. The Americans received a rapturous welcome when they liberated the city. Zinn wrote, "I recalled flying on that mission, too, as deputy lead bombardier, and that we did not aim specifically at the Škoda works, which I would have noted, because it was the one target in Czechoslovakia I had read about, but dropped our bombs, without much precision, on the city of Pilsen." 2 Czech citizens who lived in Pilsen at the time told me, recently, that several hundred people were killed in that raid, that is, Czechs—not 5. Zinn said his experience as a wartime bombardier, combined with his research into the reasons for, and effects of the bombing of Royan and Pilsen, sensitized him to the ethical dilemmas faced by GIs during wartime. Zinn questioned the justifications for military operations that inflicted massive civilian casualties during the Allied bombing of cities such as Dresden, Royan, Tokyo, and Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II, Hanoi during the war in Vietnam, and Baghdad during the war in Iraq, and the civilian casualties during bombings in Afghanistan during the current war there. In his pamphlet, Hiroshima, Breaking the Silence, written in 1995, he laid out the case against targeting civilians with aerial bombing. 6 years later, he wrote, "Recall that in the midst of the Gulf War, the U.S. military bombed an air raid shelter, killing 400 to 500 men, women, and children who were huddled to escape bombs. The claim was that it was a military target, housing a communications center, but reporters going through the ruins immediately afterwards said there was no sign of anything like that. I suggest that the history of bombing—and no one has bombed more than this nation— is a history of endless atrocities, all calmly explained by deceptive and deadly language like accident, military target, and collateral damage." Education. After World War II, Zinn attended New York University on the GI Bill, graduating with a B.A. in 1951. At Columbia University, he earned an M.A. 1952 and a Ph.D. in history with a minor in political science 1958. His master's thesis examined the Colorado coal strikes of 1914. His doctoral dissertation LaGuardia in Congress was a study of Fiorello LaGuardia's congressional career, and it depicted the conscience of the 20s as LaGuardia fought for public power, the right to strike, and the redistribution of wealth by taxation. His specific legislative program, Zinn wrote, was an astonishingly accurate preview of the New Deal. It was published by the Cornell University Press for the American Historical Association. LaGuardia in Congress was nominated for the American Historical Association's Beveridge Prize as the best English-language book on American history. His professors at Columbia included Harry Carman, Henry Steele Commager, and David Donald. But it was Columbia historian Richard Hofstadter's The American Political Tradition that made the most lasting impression. Zinn regularly included it in his lists of recommended readings, and, after Barack Obama was elected President of the United States, Zinn wrote, "If Richard Hofstadter were adding to his book The American Political Tradition, in which he found both conservative and liberal presidents, both Democrats and Republicans, maintaining for dear life the two critical characteristics of the American system, nationalism and capitalism, Obama would fit the pattern." In 1960–61, Zinn was a postdoctoral fellow in East Asian Studies at Harvard University. Academic career. Zinn was professor of history at Spelman College in Atlanta from 1956 to 1963, and visiting professor at both the University of Paris and University of Bologna. At the end of the academic year in 1963, Zinn was fired from Spelman for insubordination. His dismissal came from Dr. Albert Manley, the first African American president of that college, who felt Zinn was radicalizing Spelman students. In 1964, he accepted a position at Boston University after writing 2 books and participating in the civil rights movement in the South. His classes in civil liberties were among the most popular at the university, with as many as 400 students subscribing each semester to the non-required class. A professor of political science, he taught at BU for 24 years and retired in 1988 at age 66. He had a deep sense of fairness and justice for the underdog. But he always kept his sense of humor. He was a happy warrior, said Carol Rivers, journalism professor at Boston University. Rivers and Zinn were among a group of faculty members who in 1979 defended the right of the school's clerical workers to strike and were threatened with dismissal after refusing to cross a picket line. Zinn came to believe that the point of view expressed in traditional history books was often limited. Biographer Martin Duberman noted that when he was asked directly if he was a Marxist, Zinn replied, "Yes, I'm something of a Marxist." He especially was influenced by the liberating vision of the young Marx in Overcoming Alienation, and disliked Marx's later dogmatism. In later life he moved more toward anarchism. He wrote a history text, A People's History of the United States, to provide other perspectives on American history. The book depicts the struggles of Native Americans against European and U.S. conquest and expansion, slaves against slavery, Unionists and other workers against capitalists, women against patriarchy, and African Americans for civil rights. The book was a finalist for the National Book Award in 1981. In the years since the first edition of A People's History was published in 1980, it has been used as an alternative to standard textbooks in many college history courses, and it is one of the most widely known examples of critical pedagogy. The New York Times Book Review stated in 2006 that the book routinely sells more than 100,000 copies a year. In 2004, Zinn published Voices of a People's History of the United States with Anthony Arnove. Voices is a sourcebook of speeches, articles, essays, poetry and song lyrics by the people themselves whose stories are told in A People's History. In 2008, the Zinn Education Project was launched to support educators using A People's History of the United States as a source for middle and high school history. The project was started when a former student of Zinn, who wanted to bring Zinn's lessons to students around the country, provided the financial backing to allow two other organizations, Rethinking Schools and Teaching for Change, to coordinate the project. The project hosts a website with hundreds of free downloadable lesson plans to complement A People's History of the United States. The People Speak, released in 2010, is a documentary movie based on A People's History of the United States and inspired by the lives of ordinary people who fought back against oppressive conditions over the course of the history of the United States. The film, narrated by Zinn, includes performances by Matt Damon, Morgan Freeman, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Eddie Vedder, Viggo Mortensen, Josh Brolin, Danny Glover, Marissa Tomei, Don Cheadle, and Sandra Oh. Civil rights movement. From 1956 through 1963, Zinn chaired the Department of History and Social Sciences at Spelman College. He participated in the civil rights movement and lobbied with historian August Meyer, "to end the practice of the Southern Historical Association of holding meetings at segregated hotels." While at Spelman, Zinn served as an advisor to the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and wrote about sit-ins and other actions by SNCC for The Nation and Harper's. In 1964, Beacon Press published his book SNCC, The New Abolitionists. Zinn collaborated with historian Stoughton Lind mentoring student activists, among them Alice Walker, who would later write The Color Purple, and Marion Wright Edelman, founder and president of the Children's Defense Fund. Edelman identified Zinn as a major influence in her life and, in that same journal article, tells of his accompanying students to a sit-in at the segregated white section of the Georgia state legislature. Zinn also co-wrote a column in the Boston Globe with fellow activist Eric Mann, "Left Field Stands." Although Zinn was a tenured professor, he was dismissed in June 1963 after siding with students in the struggle against segregation. As Zinn described in The Nation, though Spelman administrators prided themselves for turning out refined, "young ladies," its students were likely to be found on the picket line, or in jail for participating in the greater effort to break down segregation in public places in Atlanta. Zinn's years at Spelman are recounted in his autobiography You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, a personal history of our times. His 7 years at Spelman College, Zinn said, "are probably the most interesting, exciting, most educational years for me. I learned more from my students than my students learned from me." While living in Georgia, Zinn wrote that he observed 30 violations of the First and 14th Amendments to the United States Constitution in Albany, Georgia, including the rights to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly and equal protection under the law. In an article on the civil rights movement in Albany, Zinn described the people who participated in the freedom rides to end segregation, and the reluctance of President John F. Kennedy to enforce the law. Zinn said that the Justice Department under Robert F. Kennedy and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, headed by J. Edgar Hoover, did little or nothing to stop the segregationists from brutalizing civil rights workers. Zinn wrote about the struggle for civil rights, as both participant and historian. His second book, The Southern Mystique, was published in 1964, the same year as his SNCC, The New Abolitionists, in which he describes how the sit-ins against segregation were initiated by students and, in that sense, were independent of the efforts of the older, more established civil rights organizations. In 2005, 41 years after he was sacked from Spelman, Zinn returned to the college where he was given an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters. He delivered the commencement address titled, "Against Discouragement," and said that, "The lesson of that history is that you must not despair, that if you are right, and you persist, things will change. The government may try to deceive the people, and the newspapers and television may do the same, but the truth has a way of coming out. The truth has a power greater than 100 lies." Anti-war efforts. Zinn wrote one of the earliest books calling for the U.S. withdrawal from its war in Vietnam. Vietnam, The Logic of Withdrawal was published by Beacon Press in 1967 based on his articles in Commonwealth, The Nation, and Ramparts. In the opinion of Noam Chomsky, The Logic of Withdrawal was Zinn's most important book. He was the first person to say—loudly, publicly, very persuasively— that this simply has to stop, we should get out, period, no conditions, we have no right to be there, it's an act of aggression, pull out. It was so surprising at the time that there wasn't even a review of the book. In fact, he asked me if I would review it in Ramparts just so that people would know about the book. In December 1969, radical historians tried unsuccessfully to persuade the American Historical Association to pass an anti-Vietnam War resolution. A debacle unfolded as Harvard historian and AHA president in 1968, John Fairbank literally wrestled the microphone from Zinn's hands. In later years, Zinn was an advisor to the Disarm Education Fund. Vietnam. Zinn's diplomatic visit to Hanoi with Rev. Daniel Berrigan, during the Tet Offensive in January 1968, resulted in the return of 3 American airmen, the first American POWs released by the North Vietnamese since the U.S. bombing of that nation had begun. The event was widely reported in the news media and discussed in a variety of books including Who Spoke Up? American Protest Against the War in Vietnam 1963–1975 by Nancy Zarolis and Gerald Sullivan. Zinn and the Berrigan brothers, Dan and Philip, remained friends and allies over the years. Also in January 1968, he signed the "Writers and Editors War Tax Protest" pledge, vowing to refuse tax payments in protest against the war. Daniel Ellsberg, a former RAND consultant who had secretly copied the Pentagon Papers, which described the history of the United States military involvement in Southeast Asia, gave a copy to Howard and Roslyn Zinn. Along with Noam Chomsky, Zinn edited and annotated the copy of the Pentagon Papers that Senator Mike Gravel read into the Congressional Record and that was subsequently published by Beacon Press. Announced on August 17 and published on October 10, 1971, this 4-volume, relatively expensive set became the Senator Gravel edition, which studies from Cornell University and the Annenberg Center for Communication have labeled as the most complete edition of the Pentagon Papers to be published. The Gravel edition was edited and annotated by Noam Chomsky and Howard Zinn, and included an additional volume of analytical articles on the origins and progress of the war, also edited by Chomsky and Zinn. Beacon Press became the object of an FBI investigation, an outgrowth of which was Gravel v. United States, in which the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in June 1972, that the speech or debate clause in the U.S. Constitution did grant immunity to Gravel for his reading the papers in his subcommittee, and did grant some immunity to Gravel's congressional aide, but granted no immunity to Beacon Press in relation to its publishing the same papers. Zinn testified as an expert witness at Ellsberg's criminal trial for theft, conspiracy, and espionage in connection with the publication of the Pentagon Papers by The New York Times. Defense attorneys asked Zinn to explain to the jury the history of U.S. involvement in Vietnam from World War II through 1963. Zinn discussed that history for several hours, and later reflected on his time before the jury. I explained there was nothing in the papers of military significance that could be used to harm the defense of the United States, that the information in them was simply embarrassing to our government because what was revealed, in the government's own interoffice memos, was how it had lied to the American public. The secrets disclosed in the Pentagon Papers might embarrass politicians, might hurt the profits of corporations wanting tin, rubber, oil, in far-off places. But this was not the same as hurting the nation, the people. Most of the jurors later said that they voted for acquittal. However, the federal judge who presided over the case dismissed it on grounds it had been tainted by the Nixon administration's burglary of the office of Ellsberg's psychiatrist. Zinn's testimony on the motivation for government secrecy was confirmed in 1989 by Erwin Griswold, who as U.S. Solicitor General during the Nixon administration, sued The New York Times in the Pentagon Papers case in 1971 to stop publication. Griswold persuaded 3 Supreme Court justices to vote to stop The New York Times from continuing to publish the Pentagon Papers, an order known as prior restraint that has been held to be illegal under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The papers were simultaneously published in The Washington Post, effectively nullifying the effect of the prior restraint order. In 1989, Griswold admitted there had been no national security damage resulting from publication. In a column in The Washington Post, Griswold wrote, "It quickly becomes apparent to any person who has considerable experience with classified material that there is massive overclassification and that the principal concern of the classifiers is not with national security, but with governmental embarrassment of one sort or another." Zinn supported the GI anti-war movement during the U.S. war in Vietnam. In the 2001 film Unfinished Symphony, Democracy and Dissent, Zinn provides a historical context for the 1971 anti-war march by Vietnam veterans against the war. The marchers traveled from Lexington, Massachusetts, to Bunker Hill, which retraced Paul Revere's ride of 1775 and ended in the massive arrest of 410 veterans and civilians by the Lexington police. The film depicts scenes from the 1971 Winter Soldier hearings, during which former GIs testified about atrocities they either participated in or said they had witnessed committed by U.S. forces in Vietnam. Iraq. Zinn opposed the 2003 invasion and occupation of Iraq and wrote several books about it. In an interview with the Brooklyn Rail he said, "We certainly should not be initiating a war, as it's not a clear and present danger to the United States, or in fact, to anyone around it. If it were, then the states around Iraq would be calling for a war on it. The Arab states around Iraq are opposed to the war, and if anyone's in danger from Iraq, they are. At the same time, the U.S. is violating the UN Charter by initiating a war on Iraq." Bush made a big deal about the number of resolutions Iraq has violated. And it's true, Iraq has not abided by the resolutions of the Security Council. But it's not the first nation to violate Security Council resolutions. Israel has violated Security Council resolutions every year since 1967. Now, however, the U.S. is violating a fundamental principle of the UN Charter, which is that nations can initiate a war. They can only do so after being attacked. And Iraq has not attacked us. He asserted that the U.S. would end Gulf War II when resistance within the military increased in the same way resistance within the military contributed to ending the U.S. war in Vietnam. Zinn compared the demand by a growing number of contemporary U.S. military families to end the war in Iraq to parallel demands in the Confederacy in the Civil War, when the wives of soldiers rioted because their husbands were dying and the plantation owners were profiting from the sale of cotton, refusing to grow grains for civilians to eat. Zinn believed that U.S. President George W. Bush and followers of Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the former leader of al-Qaeda in Iraq, who was personally responsible for beheadings and numerous attacks designed to cause civil war in Iraq, should be considered moral equivalents. Jean-Christophe Agnew, professor of history and American studies at Yale University, told the Yale Daily News in May 2007 that Zinn's historical work is highly influential and widely used. He observed that it is not unusual for prominent professors such as Zinn to weigh in on current events, citing a resolution opposing the war in Iraq that was recently ratified by the American Historical Association. Agnew added, "In these moments of crisis, when the country is split, so historians are split." Socialism. Zinn described himself as something of an anarchist, something of a socialist. Maybe a democratic socialist. He suggested looking at socialism in its full historical context as a popular, positive idea that got a bad name from its association with Soviet communism. In Madison, Wisconsin, in 2009, Zinn said, "Let's talk about socialism. I think it's very important to bring back the idea of socialism into the national discussion to where it was at the turn of the last century before the Soviet Union gave it a bad name. Socialism had a good name in this country. Socialism had Eugene Debs. It had Clarence Darrow. It had Mother Jones. It had Emma Goldman. It had several million people reading socialist newspapers around the country. Socialism basically said, hey, let's have a kinder, gentler society. Let's share things. Let's have an economic system that produces things not because they're profitable for some corporation, but produces things that people need. People should not be retreating from the word socialism because you have to go beyond capitalism." FBI files. On July 30, 2010, a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request resulted in the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) releasing a file with 423 pages of information on Howard Zinn's life and activities. During the height of McCarthyism in 1949, the FBI first opened a domestic security investigation on Zinn, FBI file number 100-360217, based on Zinn's activities in what the agency considered to be communist front groups, such as the American Labor Party. An informant reports that Zinn was an active member of the Communist Party of the United States (CPUSA). Zinn denied ever being a member and said that he had participated in the activities of various organizations which might be considered communist fronts, but that his participation was motivated by his belief that in this country people had the right to believe, think, and act according to their own ideals. According to journalist Chris Hedges, Zinn steadfastly refused to cooperate in the anti-communist witch hunts in the 1950s. Later in the 1960s, as a result of Zinn's campaigning against the Vietnam War and his influence on Martin Luther King Jr., the FBI designated him a high security risk to the country by adding him to the Security Index, a listing of American citizens who could be summarily arrested if a state of emergency were to be declared. The FBI memos also show that they were concerned with Zinn's repeated criticism of the FBI for failing to protect blacks against white mob violence. Zinn's daughter said she was not surprised by the files. He always knew they had a file on him. Personal life. Zinn married Rosalind Schechter in 1944. They remained married until her death in 2008. They had a daughter, Mila, and a son, Jeff. Death. Zinn was swimming in a hotel pool when he died of an apparent heart attack in Santa Monica, California, on January 27, 2010, at age 87. He had been scheduled to speak at Crossroads School and Santa Monica Museum of Art for an event titled, "A Collection of Ideas. The People Speak." In one of his last interviews, Zinn stated that he would like to be remembered for introducing a different way of thinking about the world, about war, about human rights, about equality, and for getting more people to realize that the power which rests so far in the hands of people with wealth and guns, that the power ultimately rests in people themselves and that they can use it. At certain points in history, they have used it. Black people in the South used it. People in the women's movement used it. People in the anti-war movement used it. People in other countries who have overthrown tyrannies have used it. He said he wanted to be known as somebody who gave people a feeling of hope and power that they didn't have before. Notable recognition. 2008 Howard Zinn was selected as a special senior advisor to Miguel Descoto Brockman, the President of the United Nations General Assembly's 63rd session. Established by a former Boston University student of Zinn's and two nonprofit organizations Rethinking Schools and Teaching for Change while he was alive, the Zinn Education Project is Howard Zinn's legacy to middle and high school teachers and their students. The project offers classroom teachers free lessons based on a people's history of the United States and like-minded history texts. Awards. For his leadership in the peace movement, Zinn received the Peace Abbey Courage of Conscience Award in 1996. He received the Thomas Merton Award and, in 1998, the Eugene V. Debs Award. Also in 1998, he won the Firecracker Alternative Booksellers Award in the Politics category for the Zinn Reader, Writings on Disobedience and Democracy, and Zinn won the Lannan Literary Award for Nonfiction. The following year he won the Upton Sinclair Award, which honors social activism. In 2003, Zinn was awarded the Prix des Amis du Monde Diplomatique for the French version of his seminal work, Une histoire populaire des États Unis. On October 5, 2006, Zinn received the Havens Center Award for lifetime contribution to critical scholarship in Madison, Wisconsin. Controversy and critiques. In early 2017, Arkansas Representative Kim Hendren submitted a bill introduced to ban Howard Zinn books from Arkansas public schools. In July 2013, the Associated Press revealed that former Republican Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels asked for assurance from his education advisors that Zinn's works were not taught in K-12 public schools in the state. The AP had gained access to Daniels' emails under a Freedom of Information Act request. Daniels also wanted a «cleanup» of K-12 professional development courses to eliminate «propaganda and highlight, if there is any, the more useful offerings». In one of the emails, Daniels expressed contempt for Zinn upon his death. At the time the emails were released, Daniels was serving as the president of Purdue University. In response, 90 Purdue professors issued an open letter expressing their concern. Because of Daniels' attempt to suppress Zinn's book, the former governor was accused of censorship, to which Daniels responded by saying that his views were misrepresented, and that if Zinn were alive and a member of the Purdue faculty, he would defend his free speech rights and right to publish. Stanford professor Sam Weinberg is also critical of Zinn's research. Reviewing a critique by Weinberg, reviewer David Plotnikoff credits Weinberg for showing that a people's history perpetrates the same errors of historical practice as the tomes it aimed to correct. 4. Zinn's desire to cast a light on what he saw as historic injustice was a crusade built on secondary sources of questionable provenance, omission of exculpatory evidence, leading questions and shaky connections between evidence and conclusions. For which he provides many examples. Conservative author Daniel J. Flynn likewise charges Zinn with presenting biased history. Michael K. Zinn, professor at Georgetown University, also faults Zinn, stating that, "A people's history is bad history, albeit gilded with virtuous intentions. Zinn reduces the past to a Manichaean fable." References in popular culture. In film. Actors Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who grew up near Zinn and were family friends, gave A People's History a plug in their Academy Award-winning screenplay for Good Will Hunting 1997. A People's History was the basis for the 2007 documentary Profit Motive and the Whispering Wind. An interview with Zinn is featured in the documentary film Sacco and Vanzetti 2007. The 2010 Spanish film También la lluvia, Even the Rain, depicting the struggle of the indigenous people of Bolivia against the privatization of their water supply, is dedicated to his memory. An interview with Zinn is featured in the documentary film I Am, 2010. An interview with Zinn is featured in the documentary film Hit and Stay 2013. Zinn's book A People's History of the United States is criticized in Dinesh D'Souza's movie, America, Imagine the World Without Her, released July 3, 2014. One of the characters in the coming-of-age story, Lady Bird 2017, is seen reading Howard Zinn's book A People's History of the United States. A People's History of the United States is recommended by John Leguizamo in John Leguizamo is Here to Explain Latino History for You. Leguizamo's one-man Broadway show, John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons, is currently streaming on Netflix. In television, A People's History briefly appears in The Sopranos Season 4 episode Christopher. A People's History briefly appears in The Simpsons episode 411. Who is Howard Zinn was the answer to a Jeopardy! Question on October 16, 2017. In music, rapper Brother Ali mentions Howard Zinn in his song "Lookin' at Me Sideways" on his heralded 2007 album The Undisputed Truth. Organic vegetables, mix 'em with fast food. I'm Howard Stern meets Howard Zinn * punk rock record label Alternative Tentacles released Apocalypse Always, in 2002, a compilation CD featuring many punk rock bands and a spoken word track by Zinn. Eddie Vedder's relationship with Zinn inspired the Pearl Jam song "Down" from the album Lost Dogs. Musician Bruce Springsteen's Bleak album Nebraska was inspired in part by A People's History. In the System of a Down's Dear Dance, a song about police brutality against peaceful protest, Zinn is paraphrased in the line, "We can't afford to be neutral on a moving train," and in their song ADD American Dream Denial from their album Steal This Album, there is no flag large enough to hide the shame of a man in cuffs. Viggo Mortensen and Buckethead used snippets of one of Zinn's speeches in the song What Kind of Nation from their album Intelligence Failure. The song Franco Un-American, on the 2003 album The War on Errorism by American punk rock band NoFX, references lead singer Fat Mike reading Howard Zinn as part of learning more about the world. "I never looked around, never second-guessed, then I read some Howard Zinn, now I'm always depressed." Lupe Fiasco samples part of Howard Zinn's speech War and Social Justice on the introduction track of his 2011 mixtape, Friend of the People, I Fight Evil. Rapper Vinnie Paz samples quotes from Howard Zinn's speech, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train on his album released in 2012, God of the Serengeti on the track of the same name. Bibliography Author LaGuardia in Congress 1959 OCLC 642325734. The Southern Mystique 1962 OCLC 423360. SNCC, The New Abolitionists 1964 OCLC 466264063. New Deal Thought Editor 1965 OCLC 422649795. Vietnam, The Logic of Withdrawal 1967 OCLC 411235. Disobedience and Democracy, 9 Fallacies on Law and Order 1968, reissued 2002. ISBN 978-0-89608-675-3. The Politics of History 1970, 2nd edition 1990. ISBN 978-0-252-06122-6. The Pentagon Papers Senator Gravel edition. Volume 5. Critical Essays. Boston. Beacon Press, 1972. 341p, plus 72p, of index to volume. IIV of the papers, Noam Chomsky, Howard Zinn, editors. ISBN 978-0-8070-0522-4. Justice in Everyday Life, The Way It Really Works editor 1974 ISBN 978-0-688-00284-8. Justice? Eyewitness Accounts 1977 ISBN 978-0-8070-4479-7. A People's History of the United States, 1492–present 1980, revised 1995, 1998, 1999, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2010 ISBN 978-0-06-052837-9. Playbook by Maxine Klein, Lydia Sargent and Howard Zinn 1986 ISBN 978-0-89608-309-7. Declarations of Independence, Cross-Examining American Ideology 1991, ISBN 978-0-06-092108-8. A People's History of the United States, The Civil War to the Present. Kathy Emery and Ellen Reeves, Howard Zinn 2003 Teaching Edition Volume I, ISBN 978-1-56584-724-8. Volume 2, ISBN 978-1-56584-725-5. Failure to Quit, Reflections of an Optimistic Historian 1993, ISBN 978-1-56751-013-3. You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, A Personal History of Our Times Autobiography 1994, ISBN 978-0-8070-7127-4. A People's History of the United States, The Wall Charts by Howard Zinn and George Kirshner 1995, ISBN 978-1-56584-171-0. Hiroshima, Breaking the Silence pamphlet, 1995. ISBN 978-1-884519-14-7. The Zinn Reader, Writings on Disobedience and Democracy 1997, ISBN 978-1-888363-54-8, 2nd edition 2009, ISBN 978-1-58322-870-8. The Cold War and the University, Toward an Intellectual History of the Post-War Years Noam Chomsky editor Authors, Ira Katz-Nelson, R. C. Lewontin, David Montgomery, Laura Nader, Richard Oman, Ray Siver, Emanuel Wallerstein, Howard Zinn 1997, ISBN 978-1-56584-005-8. Marx in Soho, A Play on History 1999, ISBN 978-0-89608-593-0. The Future of History, Interviews with David Barsamian 1999, ISBN 978-1-56751-157-4. Howard Zinn on War 2000, ISBN 978-1-58322-049-8. Howard Zinn on History 2000, ISBN 978-1-58322-048-1. La otra historia de los Estados Unidos 2000, ISBN 978-1-58322-054-2. Three Strikes, Miners, Musicians, Salesgirls, and the Fighting Spirit of Labor's Last Century Dana Frank, Robin Kelly, and Howard Zinn 2002, ISBN 978-0-8070-5013-2. Terrorism and War 2002, ISBN 978-1-58322-493-9. Interviews, Anthony Arnove ed., The Power of Nonviolence, Writings by Advocates of Peace editor 2002, ISBN 978-0-8070-1407-3. Emma, A Play in Two Acts about Emma Goldman, American Anarchist 2002, ISBN 978-0-89608-664-7. Artists in Times of War 2003, ISBN 978-1-58322-602-5. The 20th Century, A People's History 2003, ISBN 978-0-06-053034-1. A People's History of the United States, Teaching Edition Abridged 2003 updated. ISBN 978-1-56584-826-9. Passionate Declarations, Essays on War and Justice 2003, ISBN 978-0-06-055767-6. Howard Zinn on Democratic Education. Donaldo Macedo, editor 2004, ISBN 978-1-59451-054-0. The People Speak, American Voices, Some Famous, Some Little Known 2004, ISBN 978-0-06-057826-8. Voices of a People's History of the United States with Anthony Arnove, 2004. ISBN 978-1-58322-647-6, 2nd edition 2009, ISBN 978-1-58322-916-3. A People's History of the Civil War, Struggles for the Meaning of Freedom by David Williams, Howard Zinn series editor 2005, ISBN 978-1-59558-018-4.
A Power Governments Cannot Suppress 2006 ISBN 978-0-87286-475-7. Original Zinn, Conversations on History and Politics 2006 Howard Zinn and David Barsamian. A People's History of American Empire 2008 by Howard Zinn, Mike Konopacki and Paul Boole. ISBN 978-0-8050-8744-4. A Young People's History of the United States, adapted from the original text by Rebecca Steffoff, illustrated and updated through 2006, with new introduction and afterword by Howard Zinn, 2 volumes, 7 Stories Press, New York, 2007. Volume 1, Columbus to the Spanish–American War. ISBN 978-1-58322-759-6. Volume 2, Class Struggle to the War on Terror. ISBN 978-1-58322-760-2. 1-volume edition 2009 ISBN 978-1-58322-869-2. The Bomb, City Lights Publishers, 2010. ISBN 978-0-87286-509-9. The Historic Unfulfilled Promise, City Lights Publishers, 2012. ISBN 978-0-87286-555-6. Howard Zinn Speaks, Collected Speeches 1963–2009 Haymarket Books, 2012. ISBN 978-1-60846-259-9. Contributor. Ars Americana Ars Politica, Partisan Expression in Contemporary American Literature and Culture, by Peter Swirsky 2010 ISBN 978-0-7735-3766-8. Admirable Radical, Stoughton Lynd and Cold War Dissent, 1945–1970 2010, Kent State University Press by Carl Mira ISBN 978-1-60635-051-5. A Gigantic Mistake by Mickey Z 2004 ISBN 978-1-930997-97-4. A People's History of the Supreme Court by Peter H. Irons 2000 ISBN 978-0-14-029201-5. A Political Dynasty in North Idaho, 1933–1967 by Randall Doyle 2004 ISBN 978-0-7618-2843-3. American Political Prisoners, Prosecutions under the Espionage and Sedition Acts by Stephen M. Cohn 1994 ISBN 978-0-275-94415-5. American Power and the New Mandarins by Noam Chomsky 2002 ISBN 978-1-56584-775-0. Broken Promises of America, At Home and Abroad, Past and Present, An Encyclopedia for Our Times by Douglas F. Dowd 2004 ISBN 978-1-56751-313-4. Deserter from Death, Dispatches from Western Europe 1950–2000 by Daniel Singer 2005 ISBN 978-1-56025-642-7. Ecocide of Native America, Environmental Destruction of Indian Lands and Peoples by Donald Grind, Bruce Johansson 1994 ISBN 978-0-940666-52-8. Eugene V. Debs Reader, Socialism and the Class Struggle by William A. Pelz 2000 ISBN 978-0-9704669-0-7. From a Native Son, Selected Essays in Indigenism, 1985–1995 by Ward Churchill 1996 ISBN 978-0-89608-553-4. Green Parrots, A War Surgeon's Diary by Gino Strata 2005 ISBN 978-88-8158-420-8. Hijacking Catastrophe, 9/11, Fear and the Selling of American Empire by S.U.T. Jolly Editor, Jeremy Earp Editor 2004 ISBN 978-1-56656-581-3. If You're Not a Terrorist, Then Stop Asking Questions, by Micah Ian Wright 2004 ISBN 978-1-58322-626-1.
Iraq, The Logic of Withdrawal by Anthony Arnove 2006 ISBN 978-1-59558-079-5. Impeach the President, The Case Against Bush and Cheney. Dennis Liu editor, Peter Phillips editor, 7 Stories Press, 2006 ISBN 978-1-58322-743-5. Life of an Anarchist, The Alexander Berkman Reader by Alexander Berkman. Gene Fellner, editor 2004 ISBN 978-1-58322-662-9. Long Shadows, Veterans' Paths to Peace by David Giffey editor 2006 ISBN 978-1-891859-64-9. Masters of War, Latin America and United States Aggression from the Cuban Revolution through the Clinton Years by Clara Nieto, Chris Brandt, trans 2003 ISBN 978-1-58322-545-5. Peace Signs, The Anti-War Movement Illustrated by James Mann, editor 2004 ISBN 978-3-283-00487-3. Prayer for the Morning Headlines, On the Sanctity of Life and Death by Daniel Berrigan, poetry, and Adriana Amari, photography 2007 ISBN 978-1-934074-16-9. Silencing Political Dissent, How Post-9/11 Anti-Terrorism Measures Threaten Our Civil Liberties by Nancy Chong, Center for Constitutional Rights 2002 ISBN 978-1-58322-494-6. Soldiers in Revolt, Guy Resistance During the Vietnam War by David Courtwright 2005 ISBN 978-1-931859-27-1. Sold to the Highest Bidder, The Presidency from Dwight D. Eisenhower to George W. Bush by Daniel M. Friedenberg 2002 ISBN 978-1-57392-923-3. The Autobiography of Abby Hoffman Intro by Norman Mailer, Afterward by H. Z. 2000 ISBN 978-1-56858-197-2. The Case for Socialism by Alan Moss 2004 ISBN 978-1-931859-09-7. The Forging of the American Empire, From the Revolution to Vietnam, A History of U.S. Imperialism by Sidney Lenz 2003 ISBN 978-0-7453-2101-1. The Higher Law, Thoreau on Civil Disobedience and Reform by Henry David Thoreau, Wendell Glick, editor 2004 ISBN 978-0-691-11876-5. The Iron Heel by Jack London 1971 ISBN 978-0-14-303971-6. The Sixties Experience, Hard Lessons About Modern America by Edward P. Morgan 1992 ISBN 978-1-56639-014-9. You Back the Attack, Wheel Bomb Who We Want by Micah Ian Wright 2003 ISBN 978-1-58322-584-4. A People's History of the American Revolution by Ray Raphael 2002 ISBN 978-0-06-000440-8. Howard Zinn Forward for New Press People's History Series. Topic recordings A People's History of the United States 1999 Artists in the Time of War 2002 Heroes and Martyrs, Emma Goldman, Sacco and Vanzetti, and the Revolutionary Struggle 2000 Stories Hollywood Never Tells 2000 You Can't Blow Up a Social Relationship, CD including Zinn lectures and performances by rock band Resident Genius, Thick Records 2005 Topic Theater Emma 1976 Daughter of Venus 1985 Marks in Soho 1999 Topic see also List of peace activists A People's History of American Empire A People's History of the United States Howard Zinn, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, based on his autobiography of the same name topic Further reading Duberman, Martin. Howard Zinn, A Life on the Left, The New Press, 2012, Ellis, Deb and Mueller, Dennis. Howard Zinn, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train, filmed 2004 FRF's Judith Mizrachi interviews Deb Ellis and Dennis Mueller, directors of the film Howard Zinn, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train at the Wayback Machine archived May 7, 2006. Retrieved 9 March 2010. Greenberg, David. Agate Professor, Howard Zinn's Influential Mutilations of American History. The New Republic, March 19, 2013. Joyce, Davis D. Howard Zinn, A Radical American Vision, Prometheus Books, 2003. Lind, Stoughton. Doing History from the Bottom Up, on E.P. Thompson, Howard Zinn, and Rebuilding the Labor Movement from Below. Chicago, Haymarket Books, 2014. Interviews. 2001 Interview with Howard Zinn about A People's History of the United States, Religion, and Movies. Interview with Guernica, a magazine of arts and politics. The Tavis Smiley Show, Howard Zinn and the Omissions of U.S. History, November 27, 2003, National Public Radio. Howard Zinn speaks on Confronting Empire at Harvard Law School in March 2008. An interview with Howard Zinn on Anarchism, Rebels Against Tyranny by AK Press, War is the Health of the State, an interview with Howard Zinn, by Paul Glavin and Chuck Morse, Perspectives on Anarchist Theory, Volume 7, No. 1, Spring 2003, A Great Faith in Human Beings, in Klin, Richard and Lily Prince Photos, Something to Say, Thoughts on Art and Politics in America, Leapfrog Press, 2011. Obituaries. Helena Otwin, director of Beacon Press, on The Loss of Howard Zinn, January 29, 2010. Howard Zinn, Historian, is Dead at 87, by Michael Powell, New York Times, January 28, 2010. New York Times Obituary, January 27, 2010. Obituary in the Oxonian Review. Videos. The Legacy of Howard Zinn, video by Big Think. Howard Zinn on Why There Are No Just Wars, Holy Wars, video by Democracy Now! Empire or Humanity? What the Classroom Didn't Teach Me About the American Empire, on YouTube, by Howard Zinn, narrated by Viggo Mortensen. Howard Zinn's talk to teachers at the 2008 National Conference for the Social Studies (NCSS), hosted by the Zinn Education Project. Zinn speaking about his book A Power Governments Cannot Suppress, 1-hour speech by C-SPAN. Howard Zinn on Marxism, Anarchism, and the Paris Commune, on YouTube. Interviewed by Sasha Lilly, November 5, 2009. Howard Zinn, 1922 to 2010, a tribute to the legendary historian, with Noam Chomsky, Alice Walker, Naomi Klein and Anthony Arnove. American Feud, a history of conservatives and liberals. Documentary featuring interviews with Howard Zinn and others. Zinn on Class in America, interview series on The Real News, TRNN, 6 videos. April 2009 Interview with Howard Zinn, Media Education Foundation, MEF, July 2005. References. External links. howardzinn.org. Howard Zinn on IMDb. Column archive at the Progressive. Appearances on C-SPAN. Booknotes. Interview with Zinn on A People's History of the United States, 1492–present, March 12, 2000. In-depth interview with Zinn, September 1, 2002. Works by or about Howard Zinn in libraries. WorldCat Catalog. Howard Zinn collected news and commentary. The New York Times. Howard Zinn, FBI Records, The Vault, vault.b. Gov. Zinn Education Project. In Memory, Howard Zinn and the Civil Rights Movement. In Carol Polsgrove on Writers' Lives. Undue Certainty, by Samuel Weinberg. Xenophobia, The Battle Over History in Education, Politics, and Scholarship. Howard Zinn's Southern Diary, Sit-ins, Civil Rights, and Black Women's Student Activism.